Hello and welcome to Power Wheel, TCN's weekly informative program on Nigeria's electricity supply sector, particularly transmission, and efforts of TCN to improve and stabilize the grid. I am Sheung Olagunju. You're welcome. The need for TCN to have a functional supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA system to guard against the incidences of system collapses which impact negatively on the resolve of the federal government to provide uninterrupted power supply to Nigerians is critical. TCN's Managing Director, Mr. Usman Good Mohammed, said this while on an official visit to the Lagos region.
The MD said if the organization is to guard against system collapses, which impact negatively on her performance, the SCADA system will have to be reactivated, saying a committee which was set up to look into the problems in the system had preferred solutions to the identified problems.
In preparing the project that we are doing now, this $1.5 billion that we are preparing, we are addressing all the deficiencies that made the SCADA not to succeed. Let me tell you, all the substations that we are installing as transformer in Lagos here, I think about 90% of the substations in Lagos, we are touching them. Of SCADA is on right now. Is on. We have launched the process.
In his welcome remarks, the General Manager Transmission, GMT, Lagos Region, Engineer Bid Okpara, highlighted the achievements of the region, which contributes over 1,200 megawatts to the grid.
Since you came on board, we have installed 2 number 6 MVA transformers in Lagos region. We have rehabilitated 4 number transformers. A number of them were installed as far back as 1968. The 4 number transformers we have rehabilitated have given us a value of about 270 MVA transformers we have brought back to life.
Engineer Okpara, however, said despite the achievements, there are still many challenges confronting the region.
We don't have any motor crane, which we normally call hire. We don't have any in the entire region yet. We account for more than 30% of the entire the system. A lot of my AGMs do not have status vehicles. If not all of them, they don't have status vehicles. They manage the work vehicles that my linesmen or some other maintenance men use. The same one they use to field, to go and do their job, some of them are being managed with by the AGM.
The Assistant General Secretary, National Union of Electricity Employees, NUI, Comrade Anthony Ageake, commended the interim MD for his passion to work and the achievements he had made since he assumed duty, especially the reintroduction of the pupillage program for newly recruited engineers. He also appealed for staff training, which he said is very important to the organization.
There is need for us to develop a curriculum that will suit our own peculiar need in TCN. Be it as it may, we are equally happy that you are introducing pupillage in the system, even if it has to run for 1 year. The only appeal we want to make to you, sir, or before you, as you live here today, we appeal that you expedite action in most of these places. If you have workforce that are properly trained and informed, it is equally a process of management taking safety measures, because an educated or informed or trained staff, if you have them in your system, it reduces hazard when they work. But when you have workers that are not trained, you only have hazards waiting to happen.
The MD charged the staff to sustain their hard work, which would in turn increase revenue accruing to the organization and reduce the cost of production.
Engineer Jimmy Adetola is the General Manager Transmission Benin Region. The Benin Transmission Region receives power on high voltage from 9 power generating stations, Egbi, Omotosho, Geregu, Opai, and Transco Ogeli power stations, and supplies power to the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, which serves customers in 4 states, Edo, Delta, Kogi, and Ondo states. Power Will spoke to him on the region.
Benin region is the hub of transmission. Why I say hub of transmission is that Benin region is located at the center of Nigeria. We are the one that links the north and the south together, even the southwest. We have 17 transmission lines, and actually all these transmission lines are connected to power station. Like we have Egbe line from Benin here connected to Egbe power station. We have Omotosho line connected to Omotosho power station. We have Delta line connected to power station in Delta. We have Sapele, 3 lines from Sapele, 330. They are connected to 3 power stations there too, NIPP 1 and 2 and Sapele. We have Ajakuta, lines 1 and 2, connected to Gereku power stations. There are 2 power stations there too. We have Ihobo, connected to Ihobo power station, and Azura power station is also coming up very soon. That one will give us about 450 megawatts. We have Onisha, also connected to a power station, the NIPP of Pi. So that is the kind of network we have here. It's a very good thing and a welcome development. Before now, we have situation whereby project is being executed, is being planned, monitored, executed, everything by the headquarters. And we find out that the regions, the people that will inherit this project, they are never put in picture. So we find a situation whereby contractors will just do whatever they like, because those who work, for example, if you are working for me and I know I have a stake in this, I'll ensure that the right thing is done. I'm not saying that these few people are not doing the right thing, no, but they are not stakeholders. They cannot be all that details and ensure that the right thing is done. And besides, they are even far off. Most of them, you will find a situation whereby an engineer has so many projects he's handling. How can he be everywhere? But it's better off if it is handled by the local people. They are there, that they know that they are going to inherit this. So they will ensure that the right thing is done. So it's a good thing and we're happy about this. Projection is that just like the interim MDCO is having a target of getting to 13,000 megawatts. Presently we are on about 6,000 megawatts, which is even far more than what generation can give us. But we don't want to wait. We want to be ahead of them from time to time. So from here also we have identified some projects which we have discussed with MDCO, which he has agreed that something will be done about it. Like this Ihobo Akure Oshobo double circuit line. The project is about 80% completed. By the time that one is completed, we have an expanded capacity that we can use to evacuate generation from power station. We have challenges. Number one challenge is funding. If government can, at least some of these projects that are near completion, if they can release funds for us to complete it, it will be of good help for the system. In the area of environment, we are having encroachment almost everywhere, and it's a serious thing. And this is where we need state government and federal government to come and assist us. We have people building along our right of way. most of the time, even when we want to construct new line, it becomes difficult because the corridor we can use is already being occupied by people, and by normal something they are not even supposed to be there. Most of them don't have any approval for what they have done, but they are there. We have very cordial relationship. I resumed here not quite long ago, and Benin Distribution Company happened to be one of the first places I went to. I met with the CEO, we discussed, and we both realized that yes, we need to work together because we are stakeholders in this business and we are only operating toward the same common goal to provide electricity supply to the public.
Thanks for staying with us on Power Wheel. If you joined us halfway, Power Wheel is an initiative of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to let you know efforts that are being made by government and stakeholders to ensure steady electricity supply in Nigeria. The program will continue shortly. The Transmission Company of Nigeria has again increased transformer capacity in its Aja substation with an additional 60 MVA 13233 kV power transformer, which was successfully refurbished, installed and commissioned into service on July 11, 2017, bringing the station's transformer capacity at 132 kV level to 220 MVA. TCN is also installing a 60 MVA 13233 kV mobile power transformer in the same station to further increase transmission capacity in the area. Installation works have reached advanced stage, and on completion, the mobile transformer would increase the transmission capacity in the substation to 280 megawatts, which is above the distribution load requirement in the area. The increased capacity of the Aja transmission substation means that additional power is now available to be wheeled to distribution load centers, supplying electricity to Aja and environs. The president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, Malam Ismaila Muhammadu Zakari, has advocated for a minimum of 25% local content in engineering and project execution in TCN. Malam Zakari said this when he led some executive members of ICAN on a courtesy visit to the MD CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Good Mohammed, in Abuja.
Malam Zakari, while congratulating Mr. Mohammed on his appointment and all the projects geared towards the expansion of the transmission network across the country, appealed to the TCN management to consider Nigerian engineers in the execution of projects in order to upskill their skills. This, he noted, can be done through designing of competitive grouping for indigenous engineers in the award of contracts.
Because you are a member of our institute and a chartered accountant, we believe that you will exhibit the highest level of accountability and good governance in this organization, and that if you are departing, you depart with a good record and we will not hear anything that has gone wrong with accountability or good governance in the organization that you are managing.
Earlier, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed commended the ICAN president and his team for their visit, noting that since his assumption of office, the company has recorded a lot of achievements in areas of investments in transmission network expansion and the decentralization of operation from the headquarters to the regions for efficient and effective performance.
So in discussing with the donors, it became obvious that they have also their own feeling about TCN. In fact, there's a study that was conducted by one of them, which is one bank, that indicated TCN capacity to implement project is not more than $100 million per annum. If TCN can only implement $100 million per annum, Benin TCN cannot expand its capacity because the equipment that will fail in a year will not be more than 100 million. So if you are putting only 100 million, that means you are merely scratching the asset.
Mr. Mohammed, who is also a chartered accountant and a fellow of ICON, also pledged to support the Institute in their forthcoming annual conference by serving as one of the resource persons, while calling for collaboration in advancing the accountancy profession in Nigeria.
The General Manager, Research and Development Division of TCN, Dr. Tom Inugonum, has said that a robust network with the N-1 and N-2 criteria can practice the 5 states of operation effectively, which are the normal state, alert state, emergency state, in extremis or extreme state, and restoration or restorative state. While for the N-0 and N-1 criteria, network design can only be operated by very few good and skilled operation engineers. Dr. Inugonun made this known during a paper presentation titled 5 States of System Operation, stating that the design and operating criteria of a network play important roles in preventing major system disturbances following severe contingencies. He disclosed that to achieve system stability, the engineers can design a power system with the capacity to withstand a wide range of disturbances so that probable contingencies can be sustained with no loss of load and cascading outages.
The managing director of La Société Nigérienne d'Électricité, the Nigerian electricity company Nigilec, the Republic of Niger's utility saddled with the responsibility of generation and transmission of electricity, Engineer Al-Hassan Halid, has requested the speedy completion of some ongoing TCN projects like the Braining Kebbi Niamey North Core project to enhance a stable, reliable, and great capacity improvement and ensure smooth electricity transmission between Nigeria and Niger. Engineer Halid, who said this when he led his management on a courtesy visit to the management of TCN in Abuja, said the visit was to foster a good working relationship between both companies.
The Nigelec MD said they were happy about the good relationship between Nigelec and TCN, which makes them feel at home, saying all financial obligations pending will be reconciled by his financial team soon. I will want my Director of Finance and Accounting to work with his counterparts on bill reconciliation. A few weeks ago, TCN and NBET forwarded some unpaid bills to us. The total outstanding on the bills did not conform with the balance in our accounting books. We came with all the banking documents that will facilitate the TCN Nigelec accounting reconciliation. The months of April and May were the hottest in our country, hence we consumed much energy. Our outstanding stands at $4 million as against the $14 million that was indicated in the bills. I want to affirm that the payment of TCN bills is our topmost priority because in life there is a saying that good customers are best friends. TCN's MD, Usman Gol Mohammed, promised that TCN would do everything possible to keep the relationship going between both countries. According to him, Nigeria is committed towards ensuring the construction of the northern corridor of the West African Power Pool, saying TCN had secured a loan from the African Development Bank, AFDB, to build a 330 kV double circuit from Kainji to Biruni Kebbi through to Sokoto and then the border.
We have linked that loan together with the construction of the 60 kilometers from Biruni Kebbi to the border. And what we are doing now is that I think we are far ahead of the others. Maybe if you are looking at it from the point of WAP, maybe you may not know we are that far, but we are very far. We are far to the extent that we are even going to do the general procurement notice of the project maybe in the next 1 or 2 weeks. this general procurement, meaning we have launched the procurement process.
The Enugu regional staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, have been charged to embrace the change blowing across the company on how business is conducted. The managing director, Usman Gur Mohammed, gave this charge while addressing the staff at a town hall meeting recently in Enugu.
Mr. Mohammed noted that one of the things TCN management is pursuing vigorously as part of change mantra is empowering regional officers to carry out projects located in their domain rather than from the headquarters.
It does not make sense for me for us to be driving projects from the center. And one of the reasons why the regional offices have no vehicle for clearing fault is because we have been driving projects at the center. Because all those projects that you see that we are implementing, most of them, they have project vehicles. If those projects are driven from the regional office, those project vehicles will have been staying in the regional office. And the regional offices are very closer to the project.
Mr. Mohammed said, due to the need to rehabilitate and urgently expand the transmission network, TCN management had assessed all the available funding options necessary for grid expansion and concluded that the easiest way is through donor funding. He also mentioned TCN's achievement in frequency control and grid stability.
When we came in, we saw the need for us to rehabilitate our system. We also saw the need for us to urgently expand the transmission network. But we look at all the options that we can use to raise money to expand the transmission network, and we discovered that the easiest one we can do easily is for us to raise money through donor funding. And in doing that, we have been able to raise significant amount of money, which we are expanding our system and we are rehabilitating our system. And all those projects that we prepare, now we prepare them on the regional office basis.
Speaking also at the meeting, Head TSP, Engineer Tom Owa, and Head ISO, Engineer Musa Gumel, appealed to staff to work harder for better working environment.
We are just sounding you up to prepare, because you have to work even harder. We have to provide the wherewithal for you to work. And we expect that at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. Transmission company will be stronger, more respectful, more able to do what we're supposed to do.
Every switchyard, there is a control room. And it's only that control room is the lifeline, actually, of the whole grid. Because if the operators don't work there, then that substation should be shut down, and then substantial blackout will be experienced within that neighboring area. So what I'm saying in essence is that we have to work together. I know my people are there, 24 hours, 24/7. They are there always. The operators are there. The system, the transmission service providers, maintenance people can just go home. They can only call on phone that your transformer has tripped, your breaker has opened, and all that. But my staff are the ones staying 24/7 in the control rooms.
Earlier in his welcome address, the General Manager Transmission, Enugu Region, Engineer Geoffrey Wokoye, listed achievements, ongoing projects, as well as their status in the past 6 months, which required urgent intervention.
There is need to install a 1x1 number multi-track transformer around Ike Lake, 13232 kV transformer there. There is a massive development in that area. We have a lot of estates that are springing up there. There is need also to construct a 330 kV substation at Oka. By the time a 330 kV substation is constructed in Oka, it will be easier to radiate a 122 kV line to Adelaide area, where the Anambra State government is planning to build a cargo airport, and also a line to Agwata Orumba area, which is being served by only 133 kV line now for Nipo. That line, and you have a massive population growth in that area, and commercial activity is so much.
And that's our package today on Power Wheel. Let's remind you that you can watch this and other past episodes on our YouTube channel, TCN Power Wheel, which you can also subscribe to for important updates. Also, visit our website and our other social media pages, Facebook, www.facebook.com/Transmission Company of Nigeria, Twitter at TCN_Nigeria, and on Instagram. I am Sheung Olagunju. Thanks for watching.